So 91 Days has wrapped up. Episode 12 has concluded. Shuka's anime original mafia story has finished, and it did something that anime has been failing so hard at doing a mature mafia story. It just keeps failing. The last big attempt was Gangsta, which we saw how that ended up. But Shuka did it. They executed this story almost flawlessly. I'm trying to think. There isn't a lot that I have to complain about when it came to this series and this final episode. The biggest complaint I saw with people was that the art and animation was lackluster and poorly done, which I can counter and say the art style was done in this unclean and almost pastel and watercolor way at times because it matches the tone of the series and makes it feel a lot more gloomy and dark to match the story it's telling. And the animation itself is fairly good. I mean, it's not mind-blowing in any way, but it never really looks that bad. The worst parts is in each episode there are a series of frames throughout the episode that you look at and say, okay, they really took shortcuts on the eyes and mouth there. It looks very just like they put a couple of dots. But mine is that the art style and animation they chose for the series was really damn good. The characters were all likable. Even the ones you hated, you liked watching because of just how interesting they were. This revenge story concluded in the most satisfying way it could have. The entire show was about getting revenge for Angelo's family, killing all of the people who made him suffer, and making it so Nero would have to watch all of his family and friends die. Though, like I've been saying since near the beginning of the series, I felt like Angelo didn't want to kill Nero, that he did care for him in some way. And despite Angelo saying he wanted to watch Nero suffer, he, before getting shot by Nero at the end, which I have to say was shot beautifully with how it's framed on Nero's face with the gun, you see the footsteps, and then it shoots, and then it pans back to him in the car looking at the peaches or the oranges, whatever it was there. That was done beautifully, but he says, the reason I didn't kill you was because I didn't want to kill you. All along, this is what I've been feeling, that there was this sense of connection that he had with Nero, and if only he would have took it a different way, he could have had a brother, he could have had a family again, but he thought revenge was the answer, and that if he got his revenge, he would have a new purpose to life. But like Nero says, you don't need a purpose, you just live, right before he kills him. Like, that dialogue was powerful and well written, and just well crafted and executed overall. All along, Angelo wanted revenge, but subconsciously, he wanted a brother, he wanted family, and Nero was that family for him. This bond is really damn good, and it's sad it had to end like this, but this was the only way it could have ended. There's no way that Angelo could have walked away from this. He destroyed the Vantis family. He lost his humanity. But when we get to see him cry when Nero is shaking him down, that's the most human emotion we've seen from Angelo this entire series. Before, when he was a kid, we saw human emotions, but as an adult, he's shown nothing but murderous intent and almost heartlessness. To see him cry and break down, that showed so much humanity to his character, and really lends itself to show that if he only would have just gave up on this path of revenge, not only would his friend have lived, he also would have had a family again. Yes, it would have been with the people who killed his family, but he cared for Nero all along. And it's sad it had to go this way, but it was the only way it could have gone with the path that Angelo did take. This episode was so carefully crafted. It wasn't, exhilarating like last week, because it was impossible. Last week was kind of the tip of the iceberg. This was the conclusion, the epilogue. And boy, was it an epilogue. He had to die. But what twisted it is I thought Nero would actually commit suicide. In all honesty, I know it may go against his character, but he's essentially lost almost everything, if not everything at this point. So I thought after he would kill him that he would shoot himself in the head. So to see that he's going to live on is interesting, but it goes with his words. You don't need a reason to live, you just live. He can't let Angelo live because of what he did. And though he cares for him like a brother, and though he does love him, he had to die for his actions. And though Nero doesn't have a reason to live anymore, he has to live by those words. You have to live even if you don't have a reason to. The way everything played out there, that's going to go underappreciated with that final scene and how the dialogue bounces off one another, but that's the core to this episode and why it is so powerful and why it works so well. I'm going to be doing a series review probably in a month or so. It's going to seem like a long ways away, but there's a lot of anime from this summer season that I'm going to be reviewing, and already videos I had planned have already completed within the next couple of weeks. but this deserves a series review. And honestly, I think I can call it a masterpiece. I need to rewatch it. But how it executed the story with the characters, to the dialogue, to the presentation, it achieved exactly what it went for, and it had very few bumps along the way, and in a lot of ways, is one of the best anime to come out this year, period. It's up there with Re:Zero in my opinion. I would say this actually excels Re:Zero just because it's a concluded story. Re:Zero still has more to do, but this story was really good. I loved this from start to finish, and I mean, this is one of those anime I can say, I don't need a second season. It finished. This is why I like anime original stuff. You get a conclusion. If more anime can do what 91 Days did, we will be in for such a shift in the anime medium of more mature storytelling without holding back. But what did you guys think of this episode? This phenomenal episode and series overall? Let me know in the comment section below one last time, and hit that like button if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. So until next time everyone, please take care and have a good one.